Okay, this will be part 7 of Federalist number 4. The paragraph starts with, apply these facts to our own case. Leave America divided into 13, or if you please, into 3 or 4 independent governments. What armies could they raise and pay? What fleets could they ever hope to have? If one is attacked, would the others fly to its succor and spend their blood and money in its defense? Would there be no danger of their being flattered into neutrality by specious promises, or seduced by a too great fondness for peace to decline hazarding their tranquility and present safety for the sake of neighbors, of whom perhaps they have been jealous, and whose importance they are content to see diminished? Although such conduct would not be wise, it would nevertheless be natural. The history of the states of Greece and of other countries abounds with such instances, and it is not improbable that what has so often happened would, under similar circumstances, happen again. Oh, again, a lesson in history. It says, if we do not unite, if we become 13 different countries, or even 3 or 4 confederations, what do you think is going to happen if, let's say, British, Spain, or France invades one of these 13 countries or confederacies? Would the other ones come to the rescue? Would they come to help? What do you think? Publius says the chances are, if they've been separated, if they've been turned into 13 different countries, or even to 3 or 4 confederacies, the chances are they have grown to be jealous of each other. Jealous, like I said, here means distrustful. They've been distrustful of each other. They've grown to dislike each other. And because of that, are they going to give their blood and money? Are they going to send their sons to fight for them? Are they going to give any of their money to support the militia of the other state or confederacy? Publius says no. Human nature says when they stay divided, the chances are they'd rather see the other people weak and themselves strong. So he says, if we do not unite, this is our future. These powers, these monarchies, would probably come and divide us even more. Would there be no danger of their being flattered into neutrality by specious promises, or seduced by great fondness for peace to decline hazarding their tranquility and present safety for the sake of neighbors? Yeah, Britain is going to come and find one of the confederacies, support one of the confederacies, or go make promises to one of the other ones, and before you know it, you've been at war amongst yourselves and you've become weakened, and at the end of the day, you become so weak that you'll be vulnerable to Britain, to France, to Spain, and maybe even to a weaker country. So do not be fooled by the people who say, oh, we should make 3 or 4 confederacies out of these 13 states, will be okay. The next paragraph says, but admit that they might be willing to help the invaded state or confederacy. How and when and in what proportion shall aids of men and money be afforded? Who shall command the allied armies? And from which of them shall he receive his orders? Who shall settle the terms of peace? And in case of disputes, what umpire shall decide between them and compel acquiescence? Various difficulties and inconveniences would be inseparable from such a situation, whereas one government, watching over the general and common interest and combining and directing the powers and resources of the whole, would be free from all these embarrassments and conduce far more to the safety of the people. He's even saying that, suppose, let's just say that you have a confederacy and you get invaded. In this confederacy of 3 or 4 states, who is going to be the leader? When are you going to get all these soldiers together to fight, these militias together to fight? Have you made plans for money? Will you make plans for resources? If one, who's going to supply them with different things? These are all questions that will come up in the confusion of war. Who shall command the allied armies? In the middle of a war, in a confederacy, the different states will be egotistical, and each one of them will say, our general has to be the leader of the allied armies. And before you know it, there will be distraction, there will be lack of cohesion and them working together, and they will be weak. These founders, these 3 men, were very wise. They had been watching, reading, participating in different governments, in different capacities. So they knew how governments work. Different governments, whether they were at the Continental Congress under the Articles of Confederation, or whether they were in their state assemblies, they knew in different settings how people behaved. And when they would not be cooperating with others. So this was not a theoretical thing to them. They had actual experience, they had practice, they had seen it. So they knew that in the time of emergency, you're not going to be able to unite these people together to fight off an enemy, to fight off somebody that has come into your land. So he says, under this Constitution, we have the wisest plan. We have thought of all these things, and we are recommending it to you. And the best thing to do is to unite the 13 states into one union. And that would be the wisest thing to do. Okay, we have one more paragraph left, and we will leave that for the next video.